To my left, the QX80, and to my right, the QX60, both in the 2023 models, and we're going to be bringing you a comparison video here at Vagabond Builds. Check out the outside look and some interior. We're going to be talking about both these cars in this comparison video here at Vagabond Builds. Let's go ahead and show you guys that. As mentioned, we'll be talking about the QX80 and the QX60 in this comparison video, both Sensory trims. But before we do, there's two buttons we'd like you guys to push because it is not a sponsored video. So we need your guys' support. We appreciate your guys' support. Tap that like button, and if you like our content, subscribe to our channel. If you got something for us to email, here's our email. Email us and we could talk details later. And a special shout out and a thanks to Roseville Infiniti here at the Roseville Auto Mall in Roseville, California for providing us both of these beautiful cars for this review. Keep watching, stay tuned. We're going to be dropping those MSRP stickers so you guys get an idea of exactly what comes on both these cars. Now let's go ahead and talk Infiniti. So let's talk specs. Now looking at the QX80, the engine that comes in the QX80 is the V8 5.6 liter naturally aspirated, giving you 400 horsepower with 413 pounds-feet of torque. MPG is 13 city, 19 highway, and a 15 combined with a 7-speed automatic transmission, 2-speed transfer case, and of course, when properly equipped, can tow up to 8,500 pounds. If we go over and talk about the specs on the QX60, comes in the 3.5 liter V6 engine with 295 horsepower, 270 pounds-feet of torque, 9-speed automatic transmission, MPG's 20 city, 25 highway, and a 22 combined with up to 3,500 pounds of towing capacity, everybody. So, of course, you're getting more of a beast in the 5.6 V8, but the MPG is not much different. As mentioned, let's go ahead and shut these hoods and talk front ends from the QX80 over to the QX60. Now, both are 7-seaters, but of course, this is going to be a whole lot more spacious than that one. All right, now let's talk front end. Now, chrome around both cars because Sensory, chrome on the QX60 and chrome on the QX80. The camera is placed differently. Camera here is under the emblem to where on the QX60, the camera is right under that top trim. Bumper sensors both come with the bumper sensors going across the bumper cover, and of course your sensors on both. But another thing that is different, of course, other than the design, no fog lights on the QX60 to where the QX80 gets fog lights, everybody. Now pretty much you're just dropping down, or it's a miniature SUV going from the QX80 over to the QX60. The headlights are completely different. Want to point that out to you guys. The daytime running lights look different. LED lighting on both, but of course we left the hazards on so you guys get an idea. Daytime running lights here with the hazards, and of course the side marker systems, and more character coming into this new QX60 rather than the QX80. I feel like the headlight would be just a little bit more boring on the QX80, but that's my personal opinion. Now, coming in over and heading over to the sides. Dimensions on both cars, starting with length, width, and height. On the QX80, the length is going to be a 210 inches long, 80 inches wide, and 76 inches in height, with a ground clearance of 9.2 inches. Coming over to the QX60, in length, you have 198 inches, 78 inches in width, and 70 inches in height with a 6.7 inches in ground clearance, everybody. So, of course, this is bigger and higher. This is a little bit smaller and lower. Continuing forward with the rims, 20 inches compared to the 22s. They both are aluminum alloy. This has a bicolor in that gunmetal gray with the machine surfaced silver with the regular shock suspension system. Wheel well trim is in that matte black plastic with the parking marker integrated in that wheel well trim. Now coming over to the QX80, 22 inches in that gunmetal gray, one color, and you have, of course, the regular shock system on the suspension. Talking about tires, these are the Bridgestone Duelers HT, and the size on those are 275 50 22s. Tire here is a Hankook Dynapro's HPs, and the size tire on those, you go ahead and get that, is a 255 50 20. Wheel well trim here on the QX80 is the same color as the car, which I am a bigger fan of the same color wheel well trim because it gives it more of a premium high class look. Bezel here integrated into the backside of that fender to where this is more of a simple minimalist look. Side mirrors, okay? Of course, other than the lighting, this is kind of that new LED look on the QX60. This is more of that halogen bulb look. Both come with the camera systems integrated here and here. Automatic foldable. The QX80 is heated with blind spot assist, along with the QX60 is the blind spot assist. Now, roof rails up top on both. Dropping down, what do we see? Keyless fob entries with chrome trim coming in from the front over to the side, bringing it together, making the car kind of look uniform. On both keyless fob entries. Dropping down, you have the trim here in the matte black plastic with the chrome Infiniti integrated into that chrome trim on the second door, the bottom, to where no trim on the door panels, and you get that running board. So if you do ride convoy, that's also an option. Now, heading over to the rear end, one thing I'd like to mention, of course, that's different from the QX60 to the QX80, is the back of the QX80. You have those airbag systems to where it allows you to tow up to 8,500 pounds when properly equipped. They do come with that air ride on the back. Now, of course, let's talk rear ends. Completely different from the QX60 over to the QX80, giving it the QX80 more of a boxier look and the QX60 more a little bit more curvature. Up top, you have both cars coming with the spoilers, with the brake light integrated in the spoilers. One thing that's different is that the QX80 comes with the live feed camera, and that is right near the brake light system on the QX80. Dropping down on both cars, you have the Infiniti emblems with the Infiniti's word going across. The camera system is integrated here for the backup camera, right under that piano black trim going across with these LED taillights. All-wheel drive QX60 stamped, chrome for that bumper cover, kind of skid plate, the scuff plate. Bumper sensors going across with your reflectors, and of course, these do look like exhaust, but they aren't. They literally hide the exhaust over there on the passenger side. Your spare tire is under the car on the QX60. Let's head over to the QX80. QX80 bumper sensors going across. This is the lid for the towing package. The camera is here over the license plate. And of course, four-wheel drive over to QX80. I want you guys to remember, four-wheel drive is different from the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive is constantly engaged, to where the four-wheel drive you can disengage and engage. Dropping down, your spare tire is also under the car on the QX80, all right? Hazards with your parking reflectors there. Now, let's go ahead and open both cargo areas of the QX80 and the QX60. With both tailgates up, brings us forth to the cargo area. Now let's talk about the Q60. With the third row seats up, you get 14 cubic feet of space. Manually dropping those third row seats, you get 42 cubic feet of space. And if we're to drop both rows down, you get a whopping 72 cubic feet of space in the QX60. You can go ahead and electrically pick up the third row seats by the press of a button. Let me go ahead and show you guys what's under this mat. Some more personal pocket or cubby room. You got tie downs and a 12-volt outlet here on the driver's side. Now let's go ahead and talk the QX80. So third row seats up, you get 16 cubic feet of space. If we're to drop the third row seats down, you get 50 cubic feet of space. And if we're to drop both rows down, you get a whopping 95 cubic feet of space. On the passenger side, you can go ahead and drop those third row seats down and up just by the push of those buttons. You have some tie downs and a 12-volt outlet here on the driver's side. Let's go ahead and show you guys some cubby room, and under that mat, you get your tire situation for the tire that's underneath the car. Let's go ahead and pick those back up. Now that we're done with the specs, some exterior and cargo area, let's go ahead and jump inside the interiors. So now sitting in the QX60, and guys, I'm going to mention right off the bat, being the 2023 QX60 with the updated new look design inside this Infiniti. And what do I mean by that? I will show you guys once I get into the QX80, but full digital driver cockpit cluster to where the QX80 is not completely digital, right? Now, this area here is completely that new Infiniti design with regards to your temperature controls, heated steering wheel buttons, all touch sensitive. The center console with the shift knob is different. The parking button here is just a parking button, to where the QX80 has still the manual foot brake button. Wireless charging pad, both have them. USB-C, USB-A plug-in on the QX60. And of course, the tech itself is pretty much the same from the QX60 over to the QX80. But bringing forth to you guys, the look of the car is completely different from the QX60 to the QX80. Now, you still get in both the 2 memory driver seating setting systems. You get the control units for the windows, with the automatic foldable side mirrors. And of course, they both come with the 17 speaker Bose premium sound system. Some pocket space here on the bottom of that door panel. On the left hand side of the electric steering column, you got 2 buttons, one for the tailgate and one for your cruise control on and off button. Steering wheel wrapped in the leather. You got the paddle shifting controls for your windshield wipers and your lighting. And of course, you can go through the info card on your cluster with the controls on your window. Touch sensitive. Now, same tech, and I'm going to show you guys that in the QX80 also. You can go ahead and go to map. Dropping down, you have the dual climate controls, but it is a tri-zone climate control car, so the guys in the back, the people in the back get their own settings also. Heated seats, ventilated seats on the Sensory QX60. Dropping down, you have the drive modes. You can go through different drive modes, and there's 4 personal drive modes, or 5, sorry. 5, you can leave it into auto. Can control that screen from this little control unit here, like your menu, and then go back to audio and map voice. And let's go ahead and show you the camera. You get bird's eye view, 360 all around the car. Very cool and convenient. Cup holders with some personal pocket room, USB-A plug-in, and a 12-volt outlet. Up top, another huge thing that is different is that panoramic, or that glass that goes over to the second row seating, to where the QX80 only has that small sunroof. And I'm going to show you guys that later on. Both seats come in that perforated, kind of sporty, luxurious feel in the QX60, to where the QX80 has more of just a lazy boy type luxurious feel. QX80 and QX60 come with the illuminated door sill plates, and overall they both come with that premium quality high class look. Let's go ahead and the QX60 show you guys the second and third row seating. Second row seating inside the QX60, and right off the bat, what is different, everybody? Of course, the new redesigned back of the center console, but on the center console itself, you have no outlet on the QX60, the 12-volt outlets, to where on the QX80 you get an additional 12-volt outlet. You still get the USB-C, USB-A plug-ins with the inverter, but that's the difference. Also, the seats. Difference between the QX80 and the 60 is on the 60, you can move the seat back and forth by the manual lever here on the front of the seat. Up top, that glass that comes over to the second row seating, that is also different. Different placement for your speakers on the QX60. For that Bose, it goes a little bit higher on that door panel. And of course, the sun visors on the 60, but you get no sun visors on the 80, all right? Let's go ahead and jump inside the car and do a space test. I'm about 6 feet 2 inches, space test. Leg is there, Head clearance is completely there. We could go ahead and move this forward and still have the leg clearance. So wanting to let you guys know that. Armrest, very nice, good height with decent sized cup holders. In front of you, you have both pockets on both of those front seats. Up top, got your vents, lights, and your O-snap handles. Let's go ahead and jump inside the third row seating area. Now to get to that third row seating area, you have a button here on the left and right of that bench. You could go ahead and pop that button and it'll bunny hop this second row seat forward, and that opens us up to the third row seating. And you also have a button on the back of these benches for the third row seaters. So let's go ahead and drop this seat back. Again, 6 feet, 2 inches. My head is touching the top and my legs are touching the second row seating. So you'd be putting in the shorter people back here on the third row seats. The leather is simplified. We do see a lot of manufacturers doing that where they don't bring in the same look from the first and second row seating over to the third row. To the right and the left, cup holders, a USB-A plug-in on both sides, and some vents up top if you have anybody sitting back here. Also some animals, okay? We're pretty much done with the QX60. Let's go ahead and jump inside the QX80 and show you guys that. Now sitting in the QX80, and of course, like I mentioned, the tech feels just a slight bit outdated with regards to the control units or the lettering on the QX80, to where these are more manual buttons and the QX60 are touch sensitive buttons, okay? The center console, just huge. The seats are more like big lazy boy feel with the more plush look. Quilted, perforated, appointed leather, electric controlled seats. Still has a 17 speaker Bose audio sound system, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys the QX80 of how it looks. Now, of course, Infiniti is soon bringing out the new look, all right? But of course, let's talk front cluster. Like I mentioned, the manual tachometers with that digital infotainment card in the middle. The door panels still have the second or the 2 buttons for the seating, control unit for your windows and your side mirrors. Bose sound system. On the left-hand side of the electric steering column, you have more buttons, and those buttons is for the tailgate. Instead of the touch-sensitive heated steering wheel button here, like the Q60, you have it here in a manual button. Your sensors going around, and then the buttons to drop those third row seats from here. Controls for the lights and windshield wipers, but no paddle shifting on the QX80. Up top, the infotainment screen, same tech look. We could go ahead and go home, press on the map, very responsive audio, slide through, check out your weather channel and your clock. Under that, you got your manual knobs to control the media, and then your dual climate control with heated and ventilated seats on both of the front seats. Under that, pop that lid open, wireless charging pad. Both of them have it, 12-volt outlet with your USB-C and USB-A plugins. The 4-wheel drive, you can go into 4 high and 4 low, tow mode, snow, and traction control knob here. The old shift knob, we see that is an Infiniti staple from the old model to where the QX60 is more that newer model. And that same control unit for menu. Let's go ahead, and then you could go to audio and camera system here. 360 bird's eye view, side view, back. Very convenient. Cup holders. Nice, big, and deep. Some personal cubby room with your button to turn off the inverter here at the back or second row seating. Up top, remember I was telling you guys, that kind of itty bitty sunroof. That is something I would have liked to see in the 2023, is that glass to go all the way back to that second row seating. It is a manual visor, and the controls are here for that with your sunglass holder. Straight to the point, glove compartment, as both has them. Now, done with the front side of this QX80, let's go ahead and show you guys second and third row seating. All right, so second row seating in the QX80, what do we see that's different? Right off the bat, the infotainment screens that you get in the QX80 that you don't in the QX60. Over to the back of the center console, looks kind of outdated a little bit, to where the QX60 looks more of a new update. You also don't get the 12-volt outlet as mentioned in the QX60. That's something different. You get this button here that you can pop open and reach into that cubby room from the second row seating. The speaker placement is different for the Bose sound system. No sun visors on the QX80, but you get them on the QX60. Up top, the glass does not come over to the second row, and the bench cannot move forward and backward, okay? That is pretty much your differences here on the second row seating. Other than that, you get car seat compatibility, you get an armrest. The bench is a 60%er and a 40%er, 40%, 60%. Go ahead and drop this and bunny hop that forward. That's how you get into the third row seating area. Pick that back up. Space test. I'm about 6 feet 2 inches. You can completely feel non-claustrophobic in this car because you can literally drop the backrest and your head clearance is there, your leg clearance is there. Very cool. Now, this second row seating in the Sensory QX80 does come with the heated seats on the QX80. All right. Now, let's go ahead and show you guys the third row seats in the QX80. Now, of course, right off the bat, you know that you're going to have more room, being more of a spacious, kind of luxurious car, or just a full-size SUV. I'm going to show you guys how it looks with your seats up. Now, a little less tight back here, but still pretty tight. So you're going to be putting your smaller people here in the third row seating. On the right and the left of the third row seating, you have buttons to actually control that backrest. All right. You can literally drop the angle on that, get it more of a comfortable feel. Up top, snap handle. And if you got kiddos or people back here or animals, you have your airflow vents for the third row seating. Now we're pretty much done with this comparison video. Any comments, questions, concerns, leave in the comment section below. We truly appreciate you guys watching our video here at Vagabond Builds. Stay tuned. We have more cool things coming. God bless you. But before you leave, here's the MSRP stickers as promised to the QX80, so you guys get an idea of exactly what comes on this car. And then here's the QX60 MSRP sticker. Now, this is a goodbye. God bless you.